Hi guys! Today we are going to make a lab tour. I was in a very small compact place and I didn't have room for whatever I wanted to do. So we decided to take the tools house in the land I live and to convert it in the new electronics laboratory. We did some improvements and this is what we got. Let's take a tour. Starting next to the door, I have here some rows and there are used components, second-hand components. I pull it out from some boards and I use them for prototyping experiments or even to make videos. There are all the stuff I needed for radio frequency, for the spectrum analyzer. And there are attenuators, 50 ohms, lot resistors, very high frequency, antennas, amplifiers, filters, many stuff for that. Special connectors for radio frequency are there. Here I have some space for rechargeable batteries, and also I have a switch there. I turn it off when I leave and I forget what is connected here. By the moment improvised is my Wi-Fi router there, and later we will move it because we expect to put a server in the place, and it's a future project that I will tell you about. Here I have the multimeters I'm not using right now, and doesn't mean I'm not using them at all. I used to work a lot in industrial electronics with this multimeter, almost 20 years. This multimeter is older and I got it when I was a student in Massachusetts. This other multimeter is for automotive and has special features for car repairs. This other one very practical on the workbench to make repairings, and also I used to bring it with myself when I was going to do some repairs on place. Here we have the incoming mail, and there are products waiting for products review. We are getting kind of late with that because the construction took more than 60 days, went to the 90 days. I have to disassemble the electronics laboratory, everything was packed, and soon we are coming with these reviews, so don't miss them. Also, here is my National Instruments interface. We use it in industrial electronics to make test solutions or automatic systems. Maybe we can make a video with that. Could be a good idea too. This laptop is used for the radio frequency stuff. I make a video about this laptop, about the noisy fan repairing. I recommend you guys, some of you, if you are getting in the laptop business, you can watch that video too. This is the electronics log. I know it's a kind of Chinese toy, but for what I do in the lab, it makes the job very well. Then we have one of the function generators. I know it's also kind of Chinese toy, but to make experiments, to make some prototypings, or even I make a video about how to repair a TV with audio problems, and I wanted to show in that video how to make repairings with low resources. So I wanted to use this function generator with that. I recommend you guys to watch that video too. So yes, it can make the job if we want it. You can approach it in repairings when you don't need the high fidelity. Next to it, don't ever get an electronics laboratory or get in the electronics business without one of these. Is the component tester. Guys, every coin you pay for it is worthy. It can test resistors, inductors, capacitors, different kind of transistors. It's something worthy. Get one because it makes the job very well. Down there, the air compressor, and here all the tools we don't use in electronics, like the hammer, the saw, and things like that. Sponsored by Owen, we got this wonderful piece of test equipment, one of the best I have on the bench. Is a dual trace oscilloscope, digital multimeter, 4 digits and a half, and function generator, all in one. Guys, by the price of one oscilloscope, if you compare this dual trace oscilloscope, it's worthy and very competitive, and you get the digital multimeter, and also you get by free with it in this version the function generator. So whatever you pay for it is worthy and very competitive with the oscilloscope prices on the market. Was sponsored by Owen. I make a product review with this one. Next to it is partner. It's sponsored by Owen too. It's a digital multimeter, 4 digits and a half. And several times I said in my videos, guys, we need at least 2 multimeters on the bench. So those guys together, they make a wonderful team on the bench. Highly recommended. I made a product review about this device, and I also recommend you watch it, guys. It's worthy. If we want to talk about low price oscilloscope, guys, NEWCASON. This oscilloscope is the oscilloscope by the price of a multimeter. Yes, as it sounds. Check it and you will see it. I got this from NEWCASON, one of the suppliers, and I made a product review, and I put it against the specifications. It accomplished with the specifications. It's an excellent oscilloscope until the 50 megahertz, and you can also watch what is going on in the waveforms until 110 megahertz. When I made this video, after the video something went wrong. One chip got broke. I got other one sponsored by other supplier, and he said make a video one against the other, so we are pending of that video. I decided to repair this guy myself. I didn't ask for any guarantee for it. It's sponsored both ones from different suppliers. And the good news about it is I realized many of the components it uses inside is general use components. Even the chip that was broke, I had it in my inventory, and I pulled it out from something else, from one of the Arduino prototyping boards. It was there. Can you imagine that, guys? So highly recommended. By the price of a multimeter, one oscilloscope. Watch the video, pay attention, and you will see I put it against the specifications, and it was right. So the good news, if it ever gets broken, guys, many of its parts you can get it in the market or even is in your inventory. This multimeter Fluke, I bought it second hand. It was put out from one production line here in Europe. It looks like it was transferred from America first, so it's not a second hand, it's a third hand, probably. These kind of devices, they work with batteries, and with the time the battery get damaged. So I make a video about how to solve the problem, how to remove the batteries, and how to make the adaptation, and the device works fine, very well since that. And it's one of the best multimeters I have on the bench. I recommend you guys watch that video. It's a very good one. Whoever get a Fluke like this or similar model, the system is very alike, and you can take from there the idea how to repair and to remove the rechargeable batteries that are no longer useful with it anymore. Did I tell you guys this is manual range and auto range? Watch the video. The spectrum analyzer is second hand too. It was pulled out from one factory, I guess, because this is a spectrum analyzer with the GSM test unit, and GSM telephones are no longer in the market since a long time ago. So that's the reason why this unit was removed. Anyhow, it has some features that let the spectrum analyzer to work without the test unit and to do the function of the spectrum analyzer itself standing alone. This unit is special because it has the memory card, has an oscilloscope, has a frequency generator, is a radio frequency spectrum analyzer to 1 GHz. It has an audio spectrum analyzer too, modulators, and some extra stuff that other spectrum analyzers they come without now. Nevertheless, if you're getting in the electronics laboratory business, one variac is one of the things you must get. I use this one to reduce the voltage and the current. So with that, we pass the category 2 from the outlet, 110 volts or 240 volts, to category 1 with whatever we are doing on the bench. It's common to find the question, which one is the best multimeter? I even watch videos with guys who are able to write the title, the best multimeter of the year. Guys, there is no best multimeter. What we get is the multimeter we need. The multimeter that fulfills all the needs we need for one specific measurement or test. But we can have also some favorite ones. That's something different. And let me tell you a little bit about this multimeter. This multimeter is sponsored by Uni-T, came via Vitacom.ro, and it's a very practical unit. I love it because it led me to see the AC plus DC. So if I have the waveform in AC and has an offset and is placed on the DC, I can see it there. So for whoever is making designs or experiments with operational amplifiers or stuff like that, this is the multimeter you need on the bench. But also, I have to tell you, is a multimeter with high precision too, and I love it. I make a product review about this multimeter. Something that I don't like to do is to take equipments apart, but I did it with this one and I analyzed it myself as engineer. I put it against the specifications and I found out is one of the best multimeters I can have on my bench. Talking about multimeters, one of the best multimeters I got is this one. It's the data precision. And I brought one with myself. The other one came later, some years later. I didn't expect it. My friend Eric, he saved it and he saved my old oscilloscope. So he sent it to me. And I'm very happy with that because that oscilloscope has history on my side. It's a pair of multimeters, 4.5 digits, LED multimeter, manual range, excellent multimeters, and I use it as a pair of multimeters to do tests in the lab. The RIGOL oscilloscope, I got one and something went wrong and the screen became in white. And I called my supplier and I said to my supplier, my oscilloscope is broke and I need the oscilloscope for Sunday because I'm going to make a video about how to use the oscilloscope. In that moment, Bob Kalpon was not famous in YouTube. Nobody knew who Bob Kalpon was. This oscilloscope was not in the dozens of thousands of videos we are watching right now, how to use the oscilloscope step by step. But the guy, he sent it to Germany, the guys from RIGOL. I told you I wasn't famous, I didn't exist in that moment. They were very compromised. They knew their client needed the oscilloscope for Sunday. They sent back this unit for the one originally I bought. The supplier in this country, because it was not Germany, he drove his car from his city to my town one Friday evening on the night for me to have the oscilloscope for Sunday morning. And I really appreciate that, and it's good to know how compromised is the RIGOL team, with clients, even with their clients were not famous in that moment. So that's the history of how to use the oscilloscope step by step, the contribution of the RIGOL team from Germany and the local supplier in this country, and his sacrifice to bring it to me without any extra cost. Thank you guys. This power supply is the kind of power supply that has a current limit. When I reach a maximum level of current, it shuts down, and has a fixed voltage selectably, and has the fine and the coarse adjustments. This kind of power supply is highly recommended for the one who is starting in electronics. Later, guys, you can get the one that is adjustable, fine and coarse, for the current as the voltage. I don't have it here, but I will show you soon what I'm doing about it. Because the power supply was so good, I bought other one too. And I even make a video about how to use it, and I recommend you to watch that, guys. Also, here, sponsored by NEWCASON, there is a powerful accessory for power supplies. And do you remember the telling of the fine and coarse adjustment for current that I don't have here? Okay, I can make it with that. High precision, very stable, and incredible device. Also, if you have a transformer, capacitor and bridge rectifier, you can make a very high power current, voltage current unit with this interface. I use it in the application video. I make a product review with that, watch it. But I make an application video, and I use it for the low resistance measurement, the Kevin 4 wires type measurement. So I recommend you to watch that. Sponsored by Siglin. 200 MHz, 4 channels. This oscilloscope was created with the philosophy of twice the oscilloscope by the half of the price. And they did it, guys. Nowadays there is a model, and the model, they keep the same model, but there is a cheaper version even with some feature less. That is the model EU. But the model E is excellent as the model EU in the oscilloscope functions, just has the extra features. With navigation, volt plot, and many other extras, is one of the best oscilloscopes in the market right now. When I was studying, the students get the 10-15 MHz oscilloscope, the teacher the 35 MHz oscilloscope, and any engineer that you will respect had a Textronics 100 MHz oscilloscope. Nowadays, any hobbyist can get this piece of equipment with 200 MHz for one incredible price that was impossible in those years. And with all the features it has, it's a lie that this is for beginners, guys. This unit has interface, has USB, has LAN, internal server included, and also is programmable for test unit solutions for industries. I challenge companies to use this kind of unit for the automatic test features. Sponsored by Siglin, one of the best function generators, dual channel, 120 MHz, arbitrary waves, even with frequency meter included. The Siglin, this series is one of the best in the market. And when I spoke with the guys from Siglin, they told me, Bob, we have the brand new unit and we have a second-hand used one that we have been using. Which one do you want? I wonder what is the trick about it. And I asked, okay, tell me about the used one. Well, it's the one that we have been using in the publicity campaign about the introduction of the product. And I said, no, I don't want the new one. I want the used one. Why? I understood the point. This unit was used for the publicity of introduction for this product. And the guys, they want the unit to keep teaching electronics, It has some sentimental value, and no better place to put it, and no better honor than to get this unit myself. In reality, it was literally brand new. It was just showing the face, but it's the unit that helps to open the campaign of introduction for this product, and we are honored to have it ourselves here in this electronics laboratory, keeping teaching electronics. The one under, in Romania, they used to make test equipment. This factory is not making test equipment by their own anymore, but they used to have their own brand with the oscilloscope, frequency meters, function generators, power supplies, distortion meters for radio frequency, audio frequency stuff, and they are not doing anymore. Same with Czechia, same with Poland, and same with Hungary. They used to make their own test equipment, very good, high quality ones, and not produce it anymore. So it was a very good opportunity to get one equipment like that. If you are expecting to see just one board there, no, use a slots base board, and everything comes with cards, like the old computers, vertical cards inside. I make a video about how did I repair it and put it to work. This is the moment to call Daddy and Grandpa if you are second or third generation of the electronics guys. This is a very old stuff. It's vacuum valves. Inside it has a closed copper box. HEATKIT was a company that used to foresell everything disassembled, and was their competitive way to introduce in the market. With the pass of the years, we realized how good they are because they are still working, and you have to assemble it yourself. Radio frequency generator, like the Siglin one, because function generator is when you get the 3 kind of waves from that, or 2 kind of waves, but when the frequencies goes to 120 megahertz, we call it radio frequency generator. And this has a entrance for the modulation too. So excellent the piece of equipment, the only one with valves I have here. Here there is the electromagnetic field reader. We should make a video with that guy too. And this is one of the units we use for the seminaries for the AV curve tracing. Maybe we should make a video for YouTube too. Capacitance meter. We should have one in the electronics laboratory. And in my case, I have the mega ohm meter. I do not use it to make mega ohms. I use it just to test PCBs in designs. And I make a product review with that, and you can see what did I do with it. My old oscilloscope, since I am 15 years old, many years old, and was already second-hand when I bought it, of course, has all the history next to me in my electronics laboratory. I did a lot of jobs, experiments, and I lived from that many years too. And after I left, I was sorry to leave my life behind, and one of my friends, he hold it and keep it for me, and later he let me to get it, and I really appreciate it because it was a big surprise in my life. NanoVNA. We use it for the Smith charge tracer, and we should make a video about it. This is the Chinese spectrum analyzer, and yes, I know it's a kind of toy. My spectrum analyzer is until 1 gigahertz, but after 1 gigahertz, this guy gets the crown on the place. Kwitz sponsored this multimeter, excellent one. I recommend it. It's good when you are doing things with triacs, with silicon controlled rectifier. It's also recommended for using with cars and stuff like that because it's black and you can make it dirty too. So it's a very good multimeter. I really appreciate Kwitz with that. And let's see in the future what else can we do. We have here other multimeter, analog one, and we will learn how to use it. Anybody who works in the radio frequency understands why it's important, the analog multimeter. And most multimeters, they are 10 mega ohms impedance, and sometimes we need very low impedance to charge the circuit and to make it a lot to it. So we will learn about it later in future videos. Soji, one of the best multimeters I got, is sponsored by Soji too, highly recommended. Guys, little and compact, and this guy is a killer on the bench, believe me. And you know, in the past, you used to open the TV in one side of the table and put the multimeter in the other side and check what is in there. Nowadays, you have to clean the table, put the big TV that will take all the table, and you need a multimeter to put on the PCB of the TV and stuff like that. So this little guy is excellent, and that's the reason why I said in the video when I made the product review that it was going to be in the repairing table. And yes, it's on the repairing table, on the right place. The most practical multimeter I use for repairing, the Soji, and this is with Auto. Auto let you to do not select the function, makes you, as I said in the video, makes you lazy. Why? Because you put it in Auto and it checks if you're making measurement of a diode, resistor, voltage, AC, DC. It will take care of that as the auto range, but it's the auto function. One more component analyzer, component meter, and I have one extra here, the thermometer. And yes, guys, I do not use microscope. It's not that I am stupid, it's because I don't need it in what I'm doing. I'm not repairing smartphones and stuff like that. So sometimes I use cameras and just some extra lens, and I do the job of the microscope. I even show you 2-3 of my videos, the quality of my cameras for the SMT technology. My soldering stations are the GORDAK. I have there one extra product review pending. It's a wireless soldering iron. Guys, so far the repairing workbench, the table for product reviews and analysis, and electronics workbench, green screen, whiteboard for repairing explanations, the webinars whiteboard, my office, some extra stuff, and this is what the new electronics laboratory looks like. Thanks guys by watching the video, see you next time, and remember our coming products review, very good ones, and more about electronics equipment.